I think one of my biggest strengths and also weaknesses is I enjoy, maybe not enjoy, part of me enjoys kind of getting pummeled and just like persevering through it. Maybe not the pummeling part, but more of the like persevering. And so the reason why I'm recording this is because realizing this will end up being a 24-mile bike ride, and haven't eaten lunch. So the lesson I've definitely learned from cancer is like compassion for your body. And so we'll see how far I get. I'm not gonna do anything crazy. I want to make sure I'm healthy and do everything I can to actually be able to compete. We'll complete the triathlon on the 24th. Earlier in the cancer journey, so this was right when the clinical trial wasn't working and I couldn't get back on it until my kidneys got better, and like not much you can do about liver cancer. And the results from that MRI in March, that's the one where like I've looked on the internet, there's like no pictures that look anywhere like that, and then when doctors see it, they're like, I was joking with my interventional radiologist afterward, have you ever seen like any kind of results with, because I've had many TACE procedures since that first one now, I think I've had 5, like results of this magnitude of someone with stage 4 liver cancer. And he's like, stage 4, that was stage 9. So I mean, it was really bad. There's like nothing I could do about anything liver related. When I read the results from MRI, there was something new in it. Cataxia? Can't remember. It's like severe muscle wasting. Like when I looked up what it meant, when you're at the severe state, there's no like treatments. But I was just looking at how you could rebuild skeletal muscle, because that's pretty much what's happening is your skeletal muscle is breaking down. I'll share some pictures later of what I looked. That was crazy. Anyway, one thing you could do is swimming. And so I hadn't done any physical activity for a long time at that point. But I went for a swim. Oh man, I felt so good. That was the first day in months that, I mean, it's hard like when there's not, I mean, one thing I've learned about cancer is like how you find like hope today is not necessarily how I found it yesterday. And so like redefining how I find it on like a daily basis is like harder and harder when like people are telling you, or literature is saying there's less and less, like you're completely running out of options. But like, that was a little thing I had then. I was like, oh, maybe I can rebuild some skeletal muscle. And so I went to the pool, and that was a weird experience. I wasn't walking anymore that time because I was just so beat down. In the pool it was really nice because I could walk, and it was like, wow, this feels really good. And then I was like, okay, let's try to swim. I don't know what my body comp was at that point, but there was zero buoyancy. I just sank completely to the bottom. I could have done like sit-ups on the bottom maybe, like it was weird, but kind of cool. I was just laying on the bottom of the pool, and I mean that was enjoyable. When things get really weird, you start to enjoy different things more and more. I think like just a hot shower was the equivalent of, I don't know, it was amazing, like good experiences. It's just a hot shower. So I then was like, okay, let's start the swimming. And again, like things like slowly get worse and worse, and like you know it's bad, but like, if you haven't done something in a while and done any physical activity like that, you don't quite realize how much it has changed. The nice thing about physically looking at what's changing with you, accept it more, because like I see it slowly happening, and you don't really realize how bad it was until like retrospectively. Now I look at pictures, I'm like, whoa, like dang, I was sick. But like when I was super sick, it didn't feel like I was, well, I felt bad, but it wasn't like I'm a super sick person. That's another topic I'm going to get into, because I don't know if it's ableism, but like there's something about inherently, I think there's a fear about being super sick when you're healthier, and like losing health. It's really not that bad like when you're actually there. I mean, it's bad at points, but like there's acceptance that comes with, you know, cancer teaches you a lot. Where was I going? Oh yes, the swim. So when you start swimming and you don't have any leg power and zero buoyancy, that is weird, very weird. I definitely couldn't do freestyle. Couldn't even do breaststroke at that point. It was more of just, I don't know, I say I swim. I think I kind of swam. I definitely attempted, and it felt so good. And like going home, I was like, man, this is like the best day I've had in so long. because I can actually do something. Even if you can't recover from advanced ataxia, like you still can rebuild skeletal muscle, and who knows, maybe I can rebuild some to the point where it's better. Like it's not doomed to just like inherently always get worse. I think always having something you're striving for is, I mean, it's hard when it's just like, what in the world? Like it's just gonna get worse, and like there's nothing I can work towards. And again, redefining why you find that in, I think, is important, because who knows when you're gonna get beat down and like you're gonna have to find that again. But just like continuously finding something to strive for, I think, is important. But anyway, the reason why I started this recording was so that whole experience. It ended up, in total, it was 6 weeks. It was 5 weeks maybe it was 5 weeks, 4 weeks in Tampa General and 1 week in Moffat. But later that day I started having abdominal pain, weird abdominal pain. Experienced a lot of weird feelings. Like, I'm so used to digestive system inconvenience that when I had to get a colonoscopy, I was like, what? This is a normal day in the life of liver cancer. And I was like, oh yes, this is a benefit of liver cancer, is colonoscopies don't suck. Got sidetracked. Oh yes, I was hospitalized. Like that feeling, it's like a weird cramping feeling. Like I had a significant internal bleed. I mean, it was going to happen anyway because the cancer was huge, and it's happened. I had other bleeds where like the cancer's growing so fast that it outgrows its blood supply and then it starts bleeding. I had to get many transfusions. I think I had 4. And then I was like, okay, the renal situation was also getting really bad at that point. I couldn't get into a kidney doctor until May. And we had to figure out what was wrong with my kidneys and like do something about that to be able to get back on the clinical trial drug. But it was like this whole waiting period of, at that point it would have been 5 months by the time I got into a nephrologist. And liver cancer, 5 months, stage 4, you're kind of screwed if you're waiting that long to deal with kidney issues. But anyway, I might have been hospitalized anyway, like because the renal failure happened 7 days later, and that wasn't from the swim, but the bleed probably was instigated from. And I guess the point of what I was trying to say now is that finding that like will to just like persevere and do things like is a strength, but also like at that point I could have like caused death to happen faster. And when you're sitting there and you're kind of realizing that, and like, okay, they're talking about hospice, it's like, fuck, I may have caused my own liver cancer. And well, no, I don't know what I was exposed to, but the dirt a lot, and then bring about like the actual end was like my action was like swimming. Not really, but like it feels like it in that moment. I mean, that sucked. And so definitely I've learned that the will to persevere and like just keep going is like important. It's always keep on to that, but also like battling cancer is you can't do it alone. Like I'm here because of an incredible clinical, so many amazing people, and just finding that people, it's harder. Finding balance of putting everything. That's how I fight cancer, is being resilient, but finding the balance of knowing when, like, okay, hold back a little bit is important, team effort, but also if I always had that mindset when you're diagnosed and it's everything's bad, like everyone's around you, like even my parents thought it was hopeless, like everyone thinks it's hopeless, but I didn't. Like I still maintained on to things, and that was what I had, and you hold on to that, and so you can like adjust because I mean my hope modified. Like I wasn't always, the thing that got me through everything was, well, not everything, like through when things got really bad, was like realizing I don't necessarily at this moment have hope that I'm going to be cured or like things are going to get better. It's like all I have to do is like my talent is like persevering, and so like all I have to do is continue to persevere, getting pummeled, and eventually maybe I'll get something in me that helps fight back. And man, I've had some really good experiences. I'll talk later, but like after getting pummeled relentlessly, like never once did the cancer really stop. I mean, maybe like there was a couple times I went to the doctors where it like didn't grow, but pretty much every visit to the doctors for like 13 months was like everything was always getting worse, and like that's hard. Like, I was doing good, you know, I was really, when you're freed of like a lot of the burdens of, when you have like a singular focus of your passion, it's easier to just not get bogged down. And I was working on like some peer support work and forming a nonprofit, and like I was really enjoying that. But like always, doctor visits were a reminder shit is bad. So like around those days, it would always be like I'd be frozen when I came home. But like it was kind of the hospital visit day, and then a couple days after were the ones where it didn't do anything. But then like you'd kind of get better, and I'd start working on what I could to still like pursue passions and whatnot. So sidetracked. Yeah, I think I already got to the point. It was just like learning that balancing the just never say never. I don't know if the odds are against you, but like still try, and then also be mindful. There's only so much you can actually, like, don't push too hard.